This month on Poppy Loves Book Club, we're reading A Year of Marvellous Ways by Sarah Winman, published by Tinder Press.
Hello everyone, welcome to February's book group. We've got Sarah Winman here with us.
Hello world.
So we're just going to have a quick chat with Sarah before all our book members arrive. Thank you so much for joining us.
Absolute pleasure, thank you.
So, how does it feel writing a book after such a success like God Was Rabbit?
You do it because you're signed up to the process, and I can't not do it, but it does have its problems at times, mainly because, as you've just said yourself, I was getting people saying that to me very early on in the process. So while I was still doing the publicity for Rabbit, people were saying, how's he going to be writing the next book? You must be worried. At that time, I wasn't worried, and then I became worried because I started to understand there was a weight of expectation of some sort on it. And so you're aware of that, and this lovely, calm, quiet space that you inhabited before you were published becomes very noisy with voices, and rather negative voices. And so you have to find your peace again, and you have to find the trust in the story that you want to tell, irrespective of who might enjoy it and who might not enjoy it. I think that is just part of it. So it's the learning process.
Well, you delved into a beautiful, magical world in your book.
Thank you.
Magic realism. What attracted you to that? What is it that you enjoy?
I don't know. Everyone says about this magic realism, like I must read magic realism. I have no idea about magic realism at all. It doesn't actually mean a great deal to me because I haven't read it and I don't follow it. For me, it is more about what people do to hide pain.
Interesting.
And so the world that I have created is a woman coming to the end of her life, and what she has done over the years, she has created a world that she can live with. And that is the most important thing for me, that by the time she tells these stories, and these are healing stories, and she wants to pass these stories on, that she has created something that is a little bit triumphant out of seeds that wouldn't be that way. And so within this aspect that it is magical and it is poetic, I do hope that there are enough cracks for you to be able to see through and probably understand what her life probably was and would have been like. And yet, just because who we are as human beings, that we battle on and we retell the story. And I think this is very important. She has retold her story.
Yeah.
And that's what, she's ready for the ending, really. But she's also moved her story in a way that she can hand it on to someone. And so everything that she actually tells to Drake is a way of reigniting that flame in him to live life well.
What is it that attracted you to having an elderly character as your main character? Do you feel that there are many stories that they are able to tell?
They've got loads of stories, but I mean, I grew up, I was lucky enough as a child to have 4 grandparents. And so I've always had older people in my life, and I know how enriching that kind of presence is. There is something about that missed generation that I think is a very beautiful relationship. So I always knew that I would be writing about this older woman. I knew very much that it would be in relationship to a young man. A friend of mine who has worked as a therapist in prisons, and in one particular group of young men who she was working with. These young men, they never talked about fathers because their fathers were absent. Their fathers were physically absent. If they talked about their mothers, they were pretty derogatory at times because the mothers were the ones who kept everything going. They were probably holding down jobs, certainly more than one, in order to bring food in, to bring money in. But one person that they talked about with great love and respect were their grandmothers. And so I knew that this was a vital relationship, and I knew that it had legs. There are tremendous stories that the older generation have. And if we go back pre-days of, or community of pre-literacy, it was the elders who handed on the stories. And these were stories, secular stories generally, that you listen to to live life better or to be a better person. Not maybe make the same mistakes, but we always know that everybody won't make the same mistakes. But they're there. They're there as guidance and they're there as maps. And because of the fragment of community today, and people don't have large homes, and so they can't have grandparents coming to stay, we've lost that.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean the stories aren't there, and it doesn't mean the older people are not there to want to tell them, because they are.
So is Marvellous based on anybody?
No, not really. I mean, she's, all characters, you can't get away. All characters come from me. It's the same thing, when method actors say, I lost myself and I became the part. Maybe, but you know what? It's still you. But what it is, it's that great, almost, machine of ideas, of all the things, of all the people you've ever met and all the conversations you've had and all the people you know and, the aspects of yourself that you know very well, that they just all become part of a character. And so it's not one particular character. It's just it's just a mix of me and people and things that I've heard. Yeah.
And speaking of Marvellous,
Yes.
we usually call this segment a perfect day, but for
Right.
you we can call it a marvellous day.
A marvellous day, okay.
So a marvellous day for Sarah. Where would you wake up?
Yeesh. Where would I wake up? Gosh. Now you've really stumped me. Do you know what? I'm quite content in London. I think London is a very, very good city. There's lots of beautiful places. There are places in Paris that I love. There are places in the south of France I love. There are places in Florence I love. Venice I love. Do you know what? Why don't we just say London? Let's say
All right.
London.
It's a great city.
It is a great city. It is a great city.
What food would you eat?
I would probably start off very simply with coffee and a croissant. And eventually I would end up with eating at St. John,
Oh,
where
nice.
I've been for years, or I would eat Italian, because I do like that. I would be with my friends. I would definitely have been to see a film. I probably would have gone to the flower markets, but that would have meant it was a Sunday, so we might have to play around with time.
It's all right. On a marvellous day, time doesn't matter.
I would have gone like that, and I would have had many friends who would come in from abroad, who I don't see that much because some of them live, in Australia and in New York. Isn't that what it usually is? It's about feasting with people you love at the end of the day.
Is there anything particular that you'd be wearing?
No, probably what I've got on now.
And finally,
Go on.
if you could have any superpower, what would it be? It's a very serious question.
I'm taking it seriously. Superpower. Do you know what? I never have one definitive because I can change my mind quite rapidly. But I think to be able to fly with the swallows would be very nice.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for coming along, Sarah. I know
Pleasure.
our book club members are arriving,
Okay.
so we need to get over there and chat to them for a little bit.
Okay, that sounds good.
Thank you very much and see you next
Thank you.
month.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Poppy Loves Book Club is no ordinary book club. Poppy Loves Book Club sees women from all around the world, all reading the same book at the same time. And then we all come together online on the last Wednesday of every month to discuss it. The really exciting bit is often the author joins us as well, so you can post your questions to them directly. If you would like to join Poppy Loves Book Club, it's really, really easy. There are just two things you need to do. Number one, sign up. Number two, join the Poppy Loves Book Club Facebook group. Just head over to my blog, poppyloves.co.uk, and follow the links to book club. I really look forward to seeing you online soon.